Hello, welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason, and we are back again with another show for you today. Today, we're actually going to be talking about two films that we actually saw on Netflix. The first being Spenser Confidential, and the second being Have a Good Trip: Adventures in Psychedelics. So we'll get into that in just a few moments. But how's everything going with you today, Jason?
Good. Not much has changed from last week, really. Just still able to work from home. Thankful that I have a job. Thankful that I'm able to work at home, stay home as much as possible. But still, I make sure to get at least one movie in a day. So I'm happy. Looking forward to being able to hang out with my family again someday, though. Outside of, backyard get-togethers where we're all 10 feet apart from each other.
Right.
Which we'll probably do this weekend for Memorial Day, get together and get some takeout and eat in my mom and dad's backyard, 10 feet away from them. So it's fun, it's still good, but, be nice to be able to give them a hug one of these days too. So how about you?
Yeah, same here, man. Yesterday was my birthday. I kind of spent that mostly in quarantine.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. So I was quarantined for most of the day, and it was good though. We had my fiance made breakfast, and we hung out. I watched a movie, and ate a lot, and we got some out food for dinner. Got some chicken and waffles, and opened up gifts, and it was a really nice, just kind of chill day. I mean, and to be honest with you, we were quarantined, but I don't know what I would have done today had I not been quarantined. I might have went to a movie, but that'd probably be the only really major difference, though. You know what I mean? I didn't really have any major plans to do a whole lot, so it was actually fine. And then all the my kid and her kids were all over, and so we had a good time. It was a really good day. So yeah, good stuff.
I'm a big breakfast fan. So what'd you have for breakfast? What was the birthday breakfast?
It was French toast, sausage, and bacon. So
okay, cool. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, lots of carbs yesterday. So, but I got a good workout in, so it was all worth it. So
okay, good.
Well, cool. Well, without further ado, I say let's get into it, man. So the first film we're going to talk about today is Spenser Confidential. So what is that about, and what are your thoughts, Jason?
Yeah, so Spenser Confidential is a new direct-to-Netflix movie directed by Peter Berg, starring Mark Wahlberg as a Mark Wahlberg as a doing the Boston accent, I guess there, as a disgraced cop who is put in jail for beating up his superior, basically. But of course, he had a good reason. And then the film basically takes off when he is released from prison and gets himself involved into like a subsequent kind of murder investigation, police corruption, all that kind of stuff. And he has to team up because he's not a cop anymore. I can't remember if he's not a cop anymore or if he's just still on leave. Not a cop anymore. Okay.
He's not a cop.
Yeah. So he has to team up with his roommate to kind of be a unofficial private investigator to solve the mystery. So, I was not looking forward to this movie, to be honest. I've had a lot of friends tell me that it was good. But, sometimes I listen to the reviews a little bit too much. And, the reviews on Letterboxd are pretty bad. The Rotten Tomatoes score is like 28% or something. But, and I'm not a huge Peter Berg fan, really. I mean, I like Friday Night Lights a lot. And I like The Rundown a lot. But pretty much everything else he's made is just all blends together to me. But lo and behold, I actually really enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good popcorn movie to me. Even though we don't have movie theaters to eat popcorn in anymore, it would fit right in. I thought it was funny. I like the characters. I like the chemistry between the two characters, which is really important when it comes to buddy movies. And I forgot to mention that his roommate is played by Winston Duke from Black Panther and Us, and I like him a lot. So he's very good in this movie, very likable. Mark Wahlberg is good and likable. It's got Alan Arkin in it too, Bokeem Woodbine, who I enjoy that he's showing up again in movies because you didn't see him anywhere for a while. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the action was good. I thought the comedy was good. It's you know where it's going. You know, it's predictable and whatnot, but I don't mind a formulaic movie if I'm entertained, and I was entertained for this movie. So yeah, I liked Spenser Confidential. How about you, Kier?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get that going in the stream as well. We were talking about it for a few minutes, and it wasn't even there. So that's Spenser Confidential. That's the cover, everybody, if you're interested.
That's it, right there. Yeah,
that's what it looks like. Yeah. So Netflix has been surprising me quite lately. With a lot of really good content, a lot of good films. I mean, especially now that we're quarantined, you kind of have no choice. I don't know that I would even given Spenser Confidential the time of day. Had there been readily available movies to go see at the theater. So you're kind of relegated to watching what's available to you, I feel like right now. So that's kind of just how we are in the quarantine. I liked it overall. I don't know if I enjoyed it quite as much as you did. I did like it. There were some funny parts. The action wasn't too bad. For me, my only, I guess, small gripe is it seemed like it didn't quite for sure figure out what kind of movie it wanted to be. You know what I mean? It was like it was serious in a lot of parts, and then like there was like scenes where it was like comic relief that just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Like, there was like scenes where he's fighting with like a dog that I felt went on a little bit too long, and I was just like, it just kind of, there was a couple parts that was just a little jarring for me, and I was trying to figure out. It seemed like a movie that was like really trying to figure out exactly what it is, what it wanted to be, because they had some really like violent scenes, especially in the beginning, and then it was kind of a comedy, but it was like really serious. And then like, I don't know, there was just some scenes that like didn't quite make quite sense to me in some parts. Like, you have a gun on somebody, like getting ready to arrest them. And then you're like, but for no reason at all, let's fight. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Okay. I don't want to spoil anything, but.
You really, there was really no reason for that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was like your arch enemy or something. You know what I mean? It was really strange. You know what I mean? There was a lot of like strangeness that I found in that film, and a lot of things that like even his motive to get involved in that case was still kind of like a little weak. This mother looks really sad. I should get involved in this. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was really, I don't know. There was just there were some issues that I had with the film. I didn't hate it. I don't want to say that I hate it. I did have some issues with it, is all. So
yeah. I lost my train of thought. But one thing I was going to say is, I guess it didn't bother me. Like first of all, I remember what I was going to say. The fight thing at the end, to me, it seemed like that's like a direct nod to Lethal Weapon, because that's exactly what happens at the end of Lethal Weapon. Let's settle this like men. You know what I mean? But I do agree with you that it seemed kind of out of place. And in this film, it seemed out of place. It didn't seem out of place in this film. Right. Because in Lethal Weapon, there was a reason why they were already kind of at each other a little bit in that film. Right. I felt like this one, they weren't really at each other until the very end of the film. So it felt a little out of place, in my opinion, that scene was set up the way that it was set up. I don't know. So yeah, and in Lethal Weapon, it was kind of established how Mel Gibson and Gary Busey were kind of both nutcases in a different way. They're both kind of nutcases who would want to do that. They were those type of people. Where in this movie, it just kind of came off as like, oh, okay, I guess. Yeah. But it didn't bother me because I was enjoying it. And I do I get what you're saying about Mark Wahlberg's character too. But they did kind of layer that in there, that he's just the kind of guy who can't let it go if he sees something wrong happening. And they even put that in at the very end as kind of a teaser for a sequel, which honestly I would be down for if they did a sequel. Where he just can't stop getting involved into, if he sees something wrong happening. So but I honestly was surprised that I enjoyed it that much. I would even watch it again someday probably. Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Cool stuff. Yeah. So I guess that brings us to Have a Nice Trip, which is a documentary on Netflix. Yes. Netflix has loads of good documentaries. I just want to add. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that one, Kier?
Yeah, yeah. I'll take the drug one.
Okay, yeah,
So,
yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, have a good trip. Adventures in Psychedelics is a documentary. Basically, it stars a lot of actors and just media people, and it's got like Anthony Bourdain in there before he passed away. It's got a few other actors in there or actresses in there before they Carrie Fisher's in there as well, and a
Willard.
few, and just
Fred Willard, who just passed away.
Yeah, Fred Willard, who just passed away. Yeah, and so it's got a lot of stars. I don't know when they shot this thing. It must have been a while back.
Must have been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because Anthony Bourdain, it's been at least a year, or so. So it must have been shot a while back. And basically, all it is it's basically chronicling people's experiences using psychedelic drugs, whether it be LSD or dropping acid or peyote or mushrooms or anything else that's out there. I don't know all the different types of psychedelic drugs that are out there, but they kind of chronicle.
Oh yes, you do. No,
yeah. I know them all.
Tell the truth, Kier.
I've tried them all. But no, there's quite a few different drugs in there, and it's basically like a lot of just Ben Stiller and a bunch of other people that are in there. A lot of stars in there, and they're basically talking about their experiences with drugs. Some of them have only done it once. Some of them do it all the time, and they talk about their experiences and what it does to you and what it does to your mind and that sort of stuff. And it's kind of, and then they also talk about the bad trips that you have as well. There's good trips and then there's bad trips, and they talk about what happens when you have a bad trip and what the differences between those are and that sort of stuff. I found it really interesting and refreshing overall. A lot of stuff that they talked about, and just in terms of the reasons for why they think there's a place in society for experimenting with psychedelic drugs like that, because they think that it helps maybe cancer patients, or it helps different people that are suffering from different kind of illnesses or afflictions and that sort of stuff. So the general consensus was, I don't know if it came off as a pro drugger movie or a con drug movie, because it kind of gave you a walk in the life of both of those scenarios. But I felt like it was kind of more pro, saying that it was more fun than it was actually dangerous is what I came away with the film. Based on everybody that they had in there, it was interesting. I thought it was funny in a lot of parts. They had a lot of cool, cartoon elements to it, whatever, describing people's different experiences, why they were doing the drugs and that sort of stuff. And so, I found it fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun. It wasn't very long either. It was pretty short for the most part. I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a good film. So that was my take.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way. I found it really enjoyable. It's pretty much exactly what you said. It's a lot of celebrities, comedians, actors, just telling about their experiences, and it's augmented with the animation and everything. And yeah, I found it really enjoyable. As somebody who has never had those experiences, I like hearing other people's stories, and I like the variety of the stories too. Like the good trips and the bad trips. And for me, I thought it was worth watching just for Rosie Perez's story alone.
Yeah,
I thought her story was incredible. Ben Stiller's was really fun too, but they were all good. They all added to it.
What I was gonna say, what I liked about their two stories is they both only did it once. So, and one of them, it was kind of an accident for Rosie Perez. She didn't, you know what I mean? So it was kind of fun. Yeah. It was fun, listening to their stories of somebody that's only done it just the one time, and their one, as far as we know, just the one time for her. I don't know if she said whether she did it again, but
I know she wanted to do it again. But
definitely. Yeah, but it was fun just listening to their experiences, and then they, like I said, they had the little cartoon elements to it that made it even more funny. The reenactments and that sort of
visualizing
stuff.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it made it really fun and funny, and overall, I thought it was a real fun and just funny film, and really light. And like I said, I mean, whatever your experiences or your opinions are about LSD and drugs and that kind of stuff, because you hear all the horror stories about how it warps your mind, and once you've done it, you could have you could be a vegetable for life and that sort of stuff. But it's all these people, and some of them said that they've done it, tons and tons of times, and they were fine. But I'm sure that there's somebody out there that could probably give you a not so cool story about it. And
right.
and I have friends that I know that have done those types of drugs and had those experiences, and they have had some what it seems like some lasting effects after that. So for my own personal experiences, it was fun in that sense, but there wasn't that other side to that film is the only thing I'll say. That they didn't really show the people that they show people that had a bad trip, but they didn't show people that like had some really bad effects after they did it, and it still affects them today. And there are a lot of people that fall into that category as well. That was the only thing that I thought was missing from the film, but they wanted to keep it more fun and light, and so it's I understand at the same time. So
I get that. I think it was it wasn't setting out to be like a like anything deep, I think it was just to be fun, and could that mislead some people? I don't know. I don't really I don't have a strong stance on that.
I don't know if you'll watch this film and you were like on the fence about it and this is going to push you one way or another necessarily. I'm not saying that, but I am going to say that it seemed more positive than negative, and I think that was the point of the film.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like, there's some people that had some fun experiences, there's some people that had some bad experiences, but then they tried it again to still have fun experiences again, I guess, apparently. But and the storytelling and that sort of stuff, that may entice somebody to be like, man, that's crazy, I'd like to see how that works, you know what I mean? But then there are people that are in mental institutions right now that I know of, or not that I know of, that have been in and out of mental institutions that have tried drugs like that, and it didn't register with them for whatever reason. So that's all I would say. I would just offer that type of cautionary tale that if you watch the film and you've never tried that doesn't necessarily mean that that there are no dangers or there are no risks, because with any drug, especially something that's manufactured and that sort of stuff, there is a potential to have some sort of dangers. So just be cautious is all. So
whatever, narc. Yeah, the only thing I didn't love about it was some of the it was funny, but some of the like there's a spoof of an after school special in there that is kind of edited in, and it's funny, it's funny, but that was like a little bit, to me it was like that was the only augmentation. I loved all the animation and all that kind of stuff, but that was just kind of, it was like over the line a little bit, like, okay, that's just pushing the corniness a little bit. Right. But I mean, it didn't bother me really. Yeah. I wanted to say, it kind of reminded me, and I just want to like throw a little plug in there for a movie that probably not a lot of people have seen, but it kind of reminded me as like the humorous counterpart to this movie called The Nightmare that came out in 2015. It's another documentary. And it's actually really good. I was checking, it was on Netflix before, now it's on Amazon Prime. But it's a documentary about people's experience with sleep paralysis. Do you know anything about sleep paralysis? Do you know anything about sleep paralysis at all?
I mean, just vaguely. I don't know a whole lot about it. I couldn't go into in-depth or details about it, but
yeah, I've never experienced it, but some people have what's called sleep paralysis, where and some people have it like every night, where they have dreams that are nightmares that are so realistic, and they feel like they're on the bed and they can't move and they're paralyzed, and the nightmares are so terrifying. And some people it happens to them like every night. Some people it happens to it like once, like it happened to my brother one time. And they're just terrifying. And this movie is like the serious side of this, because it's not celebrities telling their stories, but it's real people who have trouble with this telling their stories. And the movie, kind of like this movie, visualizes what they're talking about, except as opposed to this movie being hilarious, that movie is horrifying. And it's like, man, I'm so glad I don't ever experience sleep paralysis. Right. And I hope I never do. But it's a really good movie called The Nightmare that I would definitely recommend people check out if they like this and want to see something similar, but they want to be terrified instead of laughing.
You want to see the counter argument, then that would be another good companion piece to watch along with it. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna kick it back over to you. So we'll start with Spenser Confidential. What is your I guess overall rating and face you would give it?
Yeah, for Spenser Confidential, I'm gonna give it this face. It's just my happy face. Not ecstatic, not bored, not okay. Just a good, solid movie. How about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Spenser Confidential 3 stars, and so I'm also gonna give it a happy face. So yeah, it's just but happy face with no teeth. So,
okay, all right.
Yeah, just a smiley face, and I overall enjoyed it. It had some flaws, it had some issues, I felt like, but overall I can't say that I hated it or wasn't entertained. I was never bored with it or anything like that. So overall a good film.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool.
How about Have a Nice Trip?
I enjoyed that a little bit more. So I'm gonna give that one probably like a 3.5. So my face for that one was going to be a smiley face, but with my teeth showing.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
You get those pearly whites in there.
Right.
So that one's for me. How about for yourself for Have a Good Trip?
For me, as far as star ratings, I gave it a little bit of higher rating. I forgot to mention before, Spenser Confidential, I gave it 3.5 out of 5, which is a solid B. And Have a Nice Trip, I gave it a 4 out of 5 for a B+. But I'm going to give it the same face. I had almost the same amount of enjoyment. Maybe I rated Spenser a little bit lower because I was expecting less out of it, I guess. I don't know. But I'm going to give it this face. Same one. Happy, good times, enjoyed watching it.
Cool stuff. Well, yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. It's fun, and like I said, I am enjoying doing the newer films with you as well. And I don't just like the list, of course, but it is fun to be able to talk about something that both of us have no clue what either one of us thought about the film. So, and like I said, I love being able to come in and we talk about the film, and we don't really have a clue what the other person thought about it. And I mean, you could tell as we're talking about the film, I'm sure, but ahead of time, I don't know what your grade was, and you don't know what my grade was, so it's kind of cool just to be able to come in here and do that as well. So awesome stuff.
Yeah,
cool. Well, with that said, we'll be bringing another show with you real soon. We thank you guys for continue to support our channel and continue to watch us and subscribe and comment and like. As always, we ask that you continue to support and continue to subscribe to the channel. And then if there's a show that, or a movie you want us to watch, go ahead and make a notation down in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to try to, get around to seeing that film. Or if you know of another film that maybe is similar to these types of films that we just watched, and you want to see if we could watch one of those and give you a rating on that, we'd be more than willing to do that for you as well. So, but yeah, once again, we thank you guys for watching the show. And was there anything else you wanted to add, Jason?
Nope, I think you covered it.
All right, well, awesome. Well, we will see you guys again next time, and keep watching SacTown Movie Buffs. We will have another show for you guys real soon. Thanks so much. Bye. It didn't stop. It stopped.
Okay. All right.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with this thing tonight. I don't really know what's going on. So.
Oh, is it being a little weird?
Yeah.